la fii la ci qualité Getzner and moo bi lan la seetal Getzner yaa ngi nii borode yaa ngi nii mu ne déedéet borode jigéen rek di ko sol damay indi borode jigéen indi borode góor laaw la cat kii daal ne na xam nga lu muy bañ ñoo dugg ci bitig bi ne nangam lay ut ñu ne amut lépp lu jigéen di soxla rek mu ngi ci bitig bii rawat na nag tubaarikàlla scrub yi nga xam ne moo xew si jamono ndax nee na buggatul benn yaram yàqu scrub yaa ngi nii body scrub yi face scrub yaa ngi day and night loo bugg rek ci jigéen mu ngi ci bitig bii cuuraay yaa ngi fi house spray yaa ngi fi waaye foundation yi ana powder yi qualité Getzner fii nag la am ci Westfield qualité Getzner nëbuwul maa ngi ni kuy nëbbatu du ko wax mu ngi ne fanga ca kaw nag koolaat 753 4495 25 00 124 ñaari nomba yi boo ci oo ñu uyu la xale yaa ngi fi koo laaj mu waxal la qualité Getzner and more.
And we having businessmen milk complain. Ila kulun kanale fu banjol. Ibuka jino ebuka la bagaso jin. They turn back. They katafen dol drop into Senegal. Gambia bagaso kajisena. Oma sibolet.
Dr. Ture contributed immensely to the failure of Adam Barrow regime from 2017 to 2020.
Manke mola foye ko babun wok monki it bar community la jero yaje ko wala be tama kan NPP kono.
Yes, ngajale because ya kende fangola I was victimized. Who? The party executive. President ya bulogula among intervene because atele sonta yenna di political campaign.
Baro mo na famoni. Ning hanara ko men ko be jaralale. We transport people from Mali, Sierra Leone and other countries. But we are going to do it. Pour que mol transport ni nala can support for 5 years oni mo isia proud
bari ita fono la ko ha minister la jodo atale ngati nga minister tal allowance la fa mol membe duma minister patata nyaonya mol membe marché to jendan jaay o famasol do Sénégal membe bolon kono wolle patata minister ti poton te balafa no la minister e ka fo minister la jodo atale nga balafa wanto director la jodo atale nga balafa
Yaya has the political power. Yaya has the political popularity in the Gambia. Hanibi, molbe lafringalale, anu hanibi, ala yamaro na futa molka.
Let it be put straight that marriage should be between a man and a woman only if they reach the age of 18 and above, or if they reach maturity, because people could be matured before they reach 18.
So every year, the GFF receives $1 million from FIFA, $500,000 in January, and another $500,000 in July.
Assalamu alaikum. Be juberlal konton na potenke dorong. Be bismillah la. Na program oto dorong. Ika fumi Bankola Kuwo. Adalta kana dimasi dalta mena 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock ka soto jang ka kaca jamal ke. Bari me sungaro la kono dorong wala na wato faring kaje ko ka dawta 4 o'clock ka bar fong. Tarde du man nin ketale. Kal haklu bulan ni potenke dorong annal badi malem Serif Konte. Loko lokum Bankola Kuwo kana bari panelo kana karo kono sinya clean together with Honorable Amadou Sane ka kurang fana so bol Sane be bulo be mutarine dum nimbi atra aman nano hadama bo nyamo utumbe juberlal kontona doron be jela ko tenke doron wato wati kanyum programme follow kela moyala ka nafal taje no fana ka kulul ka chamine o be denni nyola bi nga luntango sodo jang min keta Honorable Demba Ali Jawti, D.A Jawo, former Minister of Information, afanam be maberi janne pour ka ala kuma kundan tan sodo kachapono. Jannem be duno doron Honorable Kurang nse nimmo ti nyoko na kera famoti.
Assalamu alaikum. Be ramola be kontona sirep. Ngebe tentu be jay ngamo be konton sunkari bala. Bafala ko Ramadan Mubarak. Pamo ketale bari manke and Honorable Faran Kontong, my uncle D.A Jawo. Welcome to the program. Looking forward to a very good discussion.
Abarka bake alaji. Faran kontanta bake purka apia alaji program to panam ni opportunity tala purka kafo Ramadan Karim to everybody, Allah listeners and audience as well. Yeah.
Abaraka Bake DA, we are glad to receive you here. Like I said, this is a program where we discuss a lot about national issue, not much of attacking and other unrelevant issues, but then discuss things that are related to people's life and very important things once again. So we will start by, currently we have, there has been a lot of complaints with regards to tariff increment by Nawec. Often we normally have on and off of the current all the time, even in my own village. So complaints are too much. So what we will start with Kurang, first of all, to look at the economic aspect of these things, the repercussions and other things. Yeah, then from there, you can have your general idea on that topic. We will move on again. Mr. Kurang, I was trying to invite this thing, Nawek NB, that is Nani Juara, but then, you know, they conducted a press conference, and then a release was also done. I've gone through it. So I don't think it is even necessary to have him here because we had a lot. So I'll just, some of the reasons why they've made this, or they proposed this increment, and it was accepted by Pura. Some of the justifications Nani gave yesterday, I was following his program at the QTV. That is one, COVID is part of it. Understand? Another one also, he said the tariffs haven't been increased since 2015. And if you look at the world market, oil has been increased, fuel, you know, there are a lot of increments in the world market today. These are some of the justifications. Again, he said every month also, Nawec will increase, every month, Nawec needs $5 million minimum. $5 million minimum for them to be able to do their work and serve people. Also, it is difficult to have foreign currency exchange in the market. Recently, we've discussed about when government decided to request some of the millions, some of the millions from the foreign currency reserves from the central bank. I don't know how can that be also associated to this? And again, also he added that today dollar is 62.9 to 63 $63 per dollar, per dollar. In 2020, meter. This is in 2020, meter was sold at $22, but today it is at $44. Understand? A liter, sorry, liter. Yeah, the type of oil Nawec use also in 2020, it was sold at $444 million per metric ton. When Ukraine war also started, that one also increased. You understand? So these are some of the justifications. He named most of them. So when you look at this, Mr. Kurang, is it necessary for this increment first?
Well, there are. I think you bring in a lot of facts, into one argument, because we know that there is the inflation, globally, and of course nationally. We have been experiencing, for me, it's for the last maybe 24 months, almost 50% increase in general price levels. So inflation is really on the very high side. Well, the general inflation, according to the government, is between 13 or something percent, but that takes into consideration all the goods. So, but for most of the people, we are more concerned with the food basket, and obviously energy, electricity is a very big part of the expenditure for most people, and it affects a lot of things, because when energy price increase, like Nawec or petrol at a gas station, obviously a lot of other things will increase. The cost of production in the country will increase. The cost of food is also likely going to be affected by that. So there is a general alarm. When I saw the tariff, I saw that I did a small calculation, and then I realized that domestic consumption for electricity, they're going to charge you maybe 36% more, right, than what they charge you before, right? So amunta Nawec ning $100 like some cash power nunto. Sa ibe $136 every week. Not every week ikaw some cash power 100. Sa ibe $136 dollars ibo sana cash power. So that is going to change a lot of things because food sellers are going to try to increase what they sell because they depend on electricity to store the food and to prepare it and so on. Right? Other industrial makers or other people in other industries, factories making simple things like cups or other food items, canned food.
Even men glass of water.
Yes, very Momo di yalon ko ika electricity use banko kan. Ika foi ka domoro le dada ba ika ta wafi karamuto ba. Fondum ika factory ole be bul me yalon ko ika ice dada je wala ika juice dada je ba. Iba jela ko wolbe iba jela ko ila cost of production. Ika tapanso men dun di puri ka même puissant avec increase la. So something yemen voting Nawec it will go in 33% is because of the increase in fuel, particularly, and increase in cost of other things which they use. Well, now ni inflation nada. There are some things they are within the control of Nawec, and there are some which are outside their control. Like the global price for oil, maybe is outside their control. And they can't do much about that, and that is a component of their cost.
And that's what they are saying.
Yes,
like Nani would say, that price increment at the world market, those people will not think about whether Nawec increases or not.
No,
they are going to increase.
That's an element. The price increase in the world market. It will get close and men put a generator. It means it will cost of production can be increased. I understand. So, more control sort of over that, and Nimang increase on the Nitol Fanama Lafaro, on the prices, Kamul chargement now for per megabytes, watts, or whatever, cash power. Then Amunta, it will cut the Sandame or back increase, it will cut Wafidame or increase, or Bella profitability, Talala Laskeno, a loss dealer fan. But cost dolphin BJL, many along the world, they are within the control of Nawec. And for many years, but still now they are not talking to us how they are going to solve those problems. Management efficiency, right? Government is taking out managers, and then when a manager came, he comes with his own plans. We saw also after the regime change, when the commission took place, because so many inefficiencies in terms of procurement, there were procurement problems that we saw there. They should come back to us and say what they are doing about their procurement problems. Or hopefully we can hear from their auditors about how efficiently the human resource problem that they have. They are recruiting a lot of people. People are saying that they are recruiting a lot of people, whether they are doing a human resource audit. For Kajibeko, ika molmenta dogola fatambida kanya mo jamalta yebe sindi Nawec. Ika atol demu Nawec dokulale. Wo cosmen akafoten wo duno kalafan dolekan. You understand? So, what quality measure go mugawol moy, nimpress conference of the Nyanta wol fanal moilale. Kajibe ko foila human resource from independent sources, for be talaro ke kan warante ba kanyan di kan me along ko Nawec si wole contain no. But obviously, the central government can play a role certainly because inflation come come for foreign exchange. Niko nimbe tulo order la nitol be la heavy crude oil order la it purka nati Nawec it nyanta dollar le san itanta sanna dollar le andum nin dala so be jiring o abe batandila le ba o nunto maybe nin dala so $50 for $1 ni after let's say killing na dollar killing na $50 ila bondila
coming example do ni jang ako coming in 2020 the type of oil Nawec use, that is the type of oil Nawec uses in 2020 was sold at $444 per metric. And this one, when Ukraine war came, it went to 670. So that increment,
Yeah, he's talking about 50%. That's a 50 almost 50% increase in crude oil. No, it's essential, right? Last year or so, maybe it cost $50-something for 1 liter of petrol, saying at almost $80. So it's like 50% increase in fuel prices. And the petrol station, petrol sandam now if an Sanjele. So now cost a petrol station or a cost Nawec. So yes, I'm saying it's true that when petrol price increase, cost of production for Nawec will increase. Nim petrol la fare ko fa na coal ben la dapanso ben la fala. But it's saying it is for the government to try to take measures for kaje go inflation yeta brought under control. Because dollar selling and in dollars wala geo o manke Ukraine na problem on no, that's not a Ukraine. That's a fiscal government management problem. Largely. Yeah, so for Monsi
exactly.
Yeah, because yalo near Dallas o jibe ni yininka mundali asina Dallas o be jikanteng. For kabo sandy killing or within few months right about $50 at for 60. Yalo Dallas o be jikanteng. So what I'm going to go coming dollar be mankin. Muneka dollar mankin. Right? Muneka dollar mankin. Kujama lekatin. Follow. Budget deficit financing. Government deficit financing, that is, the government is spending more than it is making. Nimman sakunda kata panso ke menta mita ala sotobulola, fasi furoke. Nimman sakunda e furoke, amunta da panso sa atambitale. Na atambita among control, wo furol menkake, woka tinale ila local currency, your local currency loses value as a result of that deficit financing. There is over demand of foreign currency and an undersupply of the currency. So the war is just one example. But poor old final media lonko, masakunda agera coming ka tourism improve, ka investment climate improve, ka foreign direct investment comes into the country, ka tourism yena olbe katina le dalaso ji. Ye masakunda ala da panso muta ana ferol ke membe corona la bankoka.
All right. So I comment dalilo mer ne nati isa je se isa make sure isola tamen le se be use la to go isa so no you understand akana ke bulu ko le akudi pour kamul ma koy and also masakunda target men landi universal access to water and electricity government la target is 2025. So near dunia ta you the world 2030. So itella yilla faro comme itella jeroto itella yilla faro fontel sanse be balu kan nyame nin kuran ni jokata nyame nin tembola bare be ya jale be ba kono wala faro wose o keno le telebang because 2025 almost itella jeroto 2025 is just at the corner there.
Yeah, because they call universal access to water and electricity. For okay, what do you mean by universal access? Well, for mo be kurang soto 24 hours in a day.
Santo ring
banyul for koina abe kurang soto 24 hours a day. But say nim banyul for angma soto for a full day. Say universal access ma muntwala obe futala banyul. That's a big question because Banjul combo area is not getting electricity 24 hours a day, and we are not seeing it happening right now this year, according to what we are saying, because it's been the pattern is there on and off is normal and it's continuing. So how can we say that universal access will reach Koina in 2025 when I am not sure universal access will reach Denton Bridge in 2025?
Yeah, so Denton Bridge. So. Mr. Jawo, now let's look at this. We encountering this problem for so long from Nawec. Looking at our the aspect of our education, do you think we are producing that human resources? At least that would be able to help us in terms of energy and quality. Because if you look at it, you understand? So when you look at other countries, they are making best use of that. But for us, we are not doing that one.
Yeah.
How would you relate this to our education?
Well,
is it part of it?
Yeah. The issue interesting tabake, but Ngamira Alaji has done justice to it because I am a professional accountant, so he can be able to look at it from that perspective. As a layman, probably by Gibela from a different angle, but I'm sure we are all aiming at the same target here. Nawec Ngamira ila problem moment. Of course, learning increase a ripple effect certainly, because not only the ordinary consumers will feel ila pocket also, but the very fact that other industries and others meduka fendol produce even cement, building materials, and a lot of other things will make electricity use, and the very fact that tariff increase, there is an increase in the tariff, definitely will have a ripple effect on world products as well. So, I mean, it's going to be by feel, everybody will definitely feel it. Either through bill, end of month bills, or other aspects as well, food, mendomo, and other things coming some. But Nawec problem, is multifaceted. In the first place, of course, there is inefficiency in the management. Well, I mean, that's a general malaise in the Gambia, not only Nawec, but it's definitely there. I mean, there is inefficiency in the management. That's a problem in Africa in general. But isajibe Nawec fanang ila services like electricity, for example. There are a lot of wastages on the way. There are like overhead lines. Ila distribution system is old. So in that case, near power generator at the power station, Janebe Futala consumer. There is a lot of wastage on the way because of the old, system you can use. This line over distribution system. A lot of wastages. I cannot remember the percentage now, but there's a lot of. Now from the power station, Janebe Futala consumer. Menka just west. That is. Nawec should be able to control, near control. At least there would be a little bit of efficiency in the way, But at the moment, definitely a big chunk of that. Energy which is generated from the power station, Abuka Futa consumer, Aka waste on the way, because of the the old system they are using. It's the same situation with the water system as well. Some of the pipes have been there since the 1930s. So there is a lot of wastage on the distribution system of the water as well. So you see, Nawec Nyanta will barely address follow. So definitely there is a lot of inefficiency, and it's the consumers who are bearing the brunt of all that inefficiency in it. So in tariff increase definitely is not. Of course, just as Alaji said, Nawec has to survive. Probably, because the situation is such that it will come and use, in the electricity generation, it can form a heavy fuel, it can only use. And the heavy fuel is very expensive, very inefficient using, other countries, I see no reason why in Africa we have the sunshine throughout the year.
But Mr. Juara was saying, what they're using is cheaper than others.
No, that's not true. The thing is, in Africa, we have the sun throughout the year. We should have been, harnessing the sun, solar use rather than, of course, the initial cost of solar power station is very expensive. But the running cost is much lower than this heavy fuel and other things. Because, it's not efficient to be using these heavy fuels and other things. It's very, very expensive. The running cost is expensive. But in solar, probably initial installation cost will be high. But, we have the sun. All you need is that store the sun, and then you can be using that sun to generate electricity and other things. So I think Africa definitely, we should be focusing on solar rather than, using these heavy fuels. That's the only way we can be able to,
So when it comes to education, like I said, Ntella University, science and technology, and number be increased. In fact, we scholarship on that. You understand? Some of us, we didn't have a scholarship. We were struggling, and government scholarship on the other area like science and technology. But still now, for because I don't think.
I agree.
It's a C class that matter.
I agree. Definitely. Gambian universities, or African universities in general, should be concentrating more on, the technological aspect than, just studying other things. They are not efficient. Sitting down in the classroom and then doing theory. We should be involved in research. And, another area, recently we've got this USET, that is University of Science and Technology, or whatever it is. In Miracle, there was definitely no need to have a separate university. We have the University of the Gambia. That could have just been a faculty of the University of the Gambia. You science and technology. But if you create an other university, then you are creating kind of a bureaucracy. You have the management, you have to have a vice chancellor, you have to have all the other paraphernalia of an administration. Why can't you just, concentrate everything with the University of the Gambia so that you can have different faculties to be dealing with these areas? But anyway, the government has already gone ahead and created this university. So that's it. As far as I'm concerned, a bureaucracy doesn't increase. But in Tengamera, the university should be definitely more involved in research, and they're trying to see how best we can be able to, harness the things that we have locally rather than just sitting down in the classes and, teaching theories and other things. It appears that is the situation.
If you look at it, Jamela Tamo, more many scholarship also to Mukata, Taiwan, Asiatale. But there are sometimes you can follow Gambian of an Yin Loki when you remember the Anya change also. Jamela Time be a moment Taiwan, Pulkan science and technology Asiata. What they are saying, Jawo was using that because he doesn't want anybody to understand law. He doesn't want anybody to study political science so that you can tackle him at the end of the day. For because that step was a good one.
I agree. Although the selection process was also very flawed, because Jamela Mall, sometimes they were just picking up people who were not the right choice of people to be taken there. But definitely, the mall key anywhere else to be learning new technologies, new science and other things. It's good. I think it was a very good thing. Although maybe the choice of candidates was not always perfect, but it was a good thing, because most of those people who went to Taiwan and Venezuela and other places, they learned new things, and they came and applied them here. I think that's the practical aspect of it. It was good, yeah.
So finally, Quran, to close of this topic, what would you add there for your recommendation? This.
Yeah, I think the government should put Nawec the task about some underlying fundamental problems, like Honorable just mentioned. For example, the issue of leakages in the transmission system, both for the water and electricity. Because I remember I read this, I think UN report, which talks about the paradox of water in the Gambia. That says that Gambia is one of those countries with water everywhere. And we know there is water everywhere in Gambia. You dig a few meters, you see water everywhere in the Gambia. But Gambia is that place which has so much water, and yet still the people of the country do not have access to clean water. And one of the problems of that is, apart from the fact that the Nawec water system has not reached beyond the Greater Banjul area so much, or even within the Greater Banjul area, there is a risk of water poisoning everywhere because of the water pipes are old and they sometimes collide with sewage systems. So our water system is polluted throughout. The Gambia water system, at any level you take it, you find so much bacteria inside. So the paradox of water is that Gambia Bankola di Meyalonko, Giobe Dauda, Bari Giomansono ya Molbula. So I think Nawec should be put to task to efficiently organize its system, because they've just been coming incremental development, but they are not, as a management, attacking their fundamental problems. The electrical distribution, for example, right? It's somebody told me what Uncle is just saying, that we have generators that produce. But the amount of megawatts that they produce cannot reach the consumer. So if they produce 30 megawatts, the consumers, we in the houses are only getting half of that, 15 megawatts. It means that the distribution system is not able to carry what the generators are producing. That's a fundamental underlying problem. Also, the management, right? We have seen the procurement of Nawec is in billions of mismanagement over the past decades. Proven in the Jane Commission that Nawec at some point was indebted to up to about $30 million, right? $30 million? Yeah, obviously, it's there, right? So that was a procurement fallacy. You understand? And where the government need to put them to task, have they rectified those procurement problems? Melialongo, they were already highlighted, right, as a result of the transitional investigations. The management itself, there need to be constant audit of the management to see that the problem, the general problem of parastatals in the Gambia, not only in Nawec, the general problem of why so many parastatals are failing is because of overstaffing. It's a big problem. Yeah, I know Gambia is a very sensitive problem because there is no job in this country. You understand? And people must find somewhere to hang, right? So it's sensitive. But
Alaji I mean, Nawec, the government also, central government is also owing Nawec a lot of money because they give them their services, electricity and water in the government institutions and departments, and they hardly pay their bills.
Yeah.
So I mean, so that's it. Central government is definitely contributing.
So it's another like the system.
Exactly.
From what I'm understanding, because you highlighted a very important one, and Mr. Jawo also highlighted another one. So don't you think is the system the highest, the one that is at the highest? Because if now is supplying other institutions and they are refusing to pay, or they are unable to pay it, definitely now will not also be able to pay.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Like, the aspect of unemployment also, if you look at it also, is not an easy one. Unemployment
is a problem. Unemployment is a big problem, and a lot of parastatals try to solve it by just employing anybody.
Yeah.
Without any standard. I think government should come up with a standardized procedure. Me alonko mobianta duko kila dawla ndi me alonko masakunda lombang waranto masakunda ring waranto parastatals which are taxpayer sponsored. There should be some systematic way, of how they should recruit and how those recruitments should be audited. Right, and reviewed constantly. Efficiency, like what Uncle is saying, that the right people must get the right jobs and also the right scholarships. That these are fundamental issues. May Angonima address. It keeps on constantly affecting. Yes, government institutions also. Many Alongo Nawec Bilolta and Ibukajo. Ordinary citizen is paying. Why is the government office not paying? Instead, they are taking the money for that office and they're using it for something like traveling or so, and they are not paying Nawec. Then they are cheating us because that bill will come back to us indirectly or directly. It will come back because new government institutes majo Nawec still they need money. Even a tariff la. So when they put the tariff on us, that's a problem. Yes. So it should be looked into.
Yeah. So they bring ila terima banda bangaju, because last time panel we've discussed about the issue of vice president, because we have a time tale would la among occupy definitely more be diamond the shakandu amuna na president or vice president to muna because we all knew and we all can agree that membotaji more than me along kwa plus of fan back. So another one don't say in temporal. And I have seen your opinion, your article regarding to that. How do you see that one, that appointment? Would that be able to make a changes at least in your own perspective?
Well, yeah, I mean, it took the president quite a while January upon Badra replaced that. Probably we can understand it from a cultural point of view. Maybe a Baba took for 40 days, because Nimbantale, so maybe a Malavi car, just. Yeah, well, I mean,
that's my own opinion.
Well, of course, but the thing is, sometimes you have to look at those cultural sensitivities. Sometimes we wait. Okay, whatever the case, he eventually appointed one. But the thing is, at one time, Malam Foy Benunje Kabira Tata Banjul President Barofang. He will never again appoint a vice president who wants to take his place, member replace as president.
But of course, nobody would appoint somebody who you think.
Well, of course, when he appointed Usain Udabo wanted to be president. If he appoints probably Ahmad Ba definitely, because as a party leader, the objective is to become a president eventually. But he wants somebody who will never ever want to take his place. So and probably Mohammed Jallow is one of that kind of a person. I know Mohammed is a very seasoned, civil servant, but is he a good material for a vice president? That is the question. Because what eventually would happen in the case of Mohammed,
Yes, let me just come in for this one.
Okay.
Since you've known Mohammed,
yeah,
you've known Mohammed very well. Do you think Mohammed will be able to withstand some of the pressures and other things, especially politically motivated pressures? They will come.
Yeah, I think President Barrow needs that because of course we know that he has a lot of areas that he is not very like capacity man at that level. He needed a very strong vice president, member assistant in the. But I don't think Mohammed, Mohammed Be, is he in civil servant? I mean, of course, I mean, all his life in the civil service. But he has, I mean, no idea about politics, and he wouldn't want to play politics whatsoever. But the whole area, I mean, as a vice president, definitely, it's a political appointment and a political position as well. So he had to be strong on the political aspect as well. But I mean, the way I know Mohammed, he is not likely to withstand a lot of things. So maybe abe sila leka batu President Baroba assigned do this and that. Barola capacity also is not that high. So, I mean, so the complementarity, of the vice president and the president itself, definitely there should have been. We needed a very, very strong, I mean, vice president Mealonko. You can assist the president to, but the way things are right now,
I remember Baro saying, and Badara's home saying, Badara, Moni Mora for Tiata, I can make sure I tamola.
Yeah.
So, Waka is and Lekoming, Molen Mealonko. He's very strong. So yeah. So definitely.
Well, of course, definitely. I mean, maybe somebody else, unlike not Mohammed, could have been a much stronger vice president with somebody who is prepared to initiate things. But in Tenga Mohammed Nyaming, probably he will just be waiting to be assigned. President Barrow will tell him, do this, do that, and do that. And definitely, that's not the type of vice president we need in this country. Somebody who can take initiatives and, do things, and so that you can complement what the president is doing, the executive, I mean, he needed a strong vice president. But unfortunately, that's not the situation in the case of Mohammed. Yeah.
Mr. Kurang, you're a politician already. Yes. Ite aji angul because yalo ngai kachalano fonko ko ngali ni ka question wala ne ko le wulbe atel la jero to jumale point no bari wudla almo fo de say that ite aji angul jumale to ning vice president wala appointment no ko min ite aji nyadi de fo he the right person or he will able to withstand sort of things malo fa alone na to be honest. But one thing I know Gambia la system of Benjamin Temola preso kasia masa kuna kanyame diamol kasia nyame fo in general it's a perspective
yeah, I mean yalong leadership more ka fo nyame atemu alala code since when God said inni ja'ilun fil ardi khalifa when Adam was installed, then you see that it is God's own decision to bless us with leaders. Even when the angels protested, he knew why he did it. And when we look at the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he left, who came? Abu Bakr was the caliph, and after Abu Bakr, we have Omar. After radiallahu anhu, after Omar, we have Uthman radiallahu anhu. Then we have Ali. And what did you see? Similarities between them. So when you are a president, well, you are blessed to be a president, and we voted for you to be president. Well, a vice president is somebody who must be ready to be president any minute.
Yeah.
That's what is important.
Yes. No, because it's not about you and you. It's about the country. You are president, all right? Anything can happen. A president can die. A president can resign. That's a fact of life.
So it means when Barrow was making that remark,
yes,
whether you paying attention
whether you will die in the state house or you will die after 10 years or 100 years, you will die. So it can happen anytime. So who next? A vice president, according to the law, isn't it? So the vice president must be ready to be president any day.
Yeah.
So let me just come, Kurang, sorry. Yeah. Let me just come. So it seems when Badara wasn't there, if something supposed to happen to Barrow, who would be president then?
Yeah, the law said the vice.
No, if the vice wasn't there.
If the vice wasn't there, yeah, there is a third person. Yes. Okay. So the law is prepared. Disregard of the individual, the law is prepared. If the president or the vice president, if the president and vice president are both not there, then the speaker of the house.
And now the government.
You understand? So that is why the constitution is showing you that the position cannot be empty. right? So it is not about to say that I want a vice president who is not anything, who is not prepared to be president.
Yeah.
It's a malaise
to
the constitution. It's a malaise, and it's an affront to the people of the Gambia, because this position is not about the personal taste of Barrow. It's not about the personal taste of the president. It's about the interests of the people of the Gambia. We need to have somebody as a president who is capable, and we need to have somebody as a vice president who is ready to be president tomorrow. So if you just said, well, I'll bring somebody who is not going to want my position, then you say, what? I want somebody who don't want to be president. Then he don't want to be president, and then you put him in a place where tomorrow he can be president. Then you are malicing us. So that is what the president did. No, somebody should tell him that he's malicing us, and next time when he finds himself in such a situation, you understand? The president you understand? Yeah, among Mr. The Honorable Jalo, the vice president, I don't know him. I've never met him personally. He looks to me like a simple man, you know, but obviously we are talking here about the criteria that Barrow spelled, and if that's why he chose him, well, I think
that's what he said. These are the criteria for the person who's going to be a vice president. So definitely, if somebody comes, we would say, we would assume with confidence that that person has that character. The person who will not look
tomorrow, I think when Barrow is speaking again, he should say, "No more like a vice president, the mayor lonko." Just to remind you
again that you're watching at Bankola Kuwo, your favorite show that comes your way on every Sunday from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. But then today, as we're in the Ramadan, we have to bring it to 4 o'clock. So obviously, time has gone. We will take a short break, then we will come back. We are left with very few minutes, and then we will come back again.
dama ne junjug rek na gar mi day waaj waa fan la fii la ci qualité Getzner and moo bi lan la seetal Getzner yaa ngi nii borode yaa ngi nii mu ne déedéet borode jigéen rek du ko sol damay indi borode jigéen indi borode góor laaw la cat kii daal ne na xam nga lu muy bañ ñoo dugg ci bitig bi ne nangam lay ut ñu ne amut lépp lu jigéen di soxla rek mu ngi ci bitig bi rawat na nag tubaarikàlla scrub yi nga xam ne moo xew si jamono ndax nee na buggatul benn yaram yàqu scrub yaa ngi nii body scrub yi face scrub yaa ngi day and night loo bugg rek ci jigéen mu ngi ci bitig bi cuuraay yaa ngi fi house spray yaa ngi fi waaye foundation yi ana powder yi qualité Getzner fii nag la am ci Westfield qualité Getzner nëbuwul maa ngi ni kuy nëbbatu du ko wax mu ngi ne fanga ca kaw nag koolal 753 4495 25 00 124 ñaari nomba yi boo ci oo ñu uyu la xale yaa ngi fi koo laaj mu waxal la qualité Getzner and more.
And we having businessmen not to complain. Ila kulun kanale fu banjol. Ibuka jino ebuka la bagaso jin. They turn back. The Katafian gold drop into Senegal. Gambia bagaso kajisena. Omasi bolet.
Dr. contributed immensely to the failure of Adam Barrow regime from 2017 to 2020.
Manke mola foye ko babun wok monkey it bar comme itela jero yaje ko wala be tamakan NPP kono.
Yes, ngajale because ya ken defangola I was victimized. Who? The party executive. President ya bulobula among intervene because atele sonta yenna the political campaign.
Baro e muno fo moni ning ata hanata ko men ko be jaralale we transport people from Mali, Sierra Leone and other countries we are going to do it. Pour que mol transport ni nalana can support for 5 years on moesia proud
bari ita fono la ko ha minister la jodo atale ngati nga minister tal allowance la fa mol membe duma minister patata nyaonya mol membe marché to jendan jayo famasol do Sénégal membe bolon kono wolle patata minister ti woton te balafa no la minister e ka fo minister la jodo atale nga balafa wanto director la jodo atale nga balafa
Yaya has the political power. Yaya has the political popularity in the Gambia. Hanebi, more be laughing already, and no hanebi, ala yamaro na futambol kan
Let it be put straight that marriage should be between a man and a woman only if they reach the age of 18 and above, or if they reach maturity, because people could be matured before they reach 18.
So every year, the GFF receives $1 million from FIFA, $500,000 in January, Tariff, and another $500,000 in July.
Hari kabi ka jia program to hani kabi ko denke ka fale dron nin na lunta wala be sirin jam keta temba ali jawati former minister of information hani kabi Mr. Jawo, now let's look at this the prevention against torture act has been passed by the National Assembly. So first of all, what is your view on this, first of all, before we go into detail?
Well, and it's quite good to have such a law in place, because in the past, particularly under the D.A Jawo regime, there has been a lot of torture and inhuman treatment of people. I mean, that was going on in this country. So ninga law soto, may torture prevent. I think that's quite welcome. Although it depends again on the political will of the government, because it's one thing law dada, but it's another thing completely else also, to get it implemented. Those are the things. Political will must be there, and do a form be effective. But it's a welcome. I think it's welcome. Yeah.
So ning ngani jube yalo nyin tamola me yatin ning election do local government elections akanano. And most of the time kamenye muka dua, but most of the time election wato we kajele na sujara mamma simu ko wala ba because ngajele during the parliamentary election no share, especially Brigama, you have the UDP when Sabali was rejected, and a camera captured a security person also who was beating somebody. We've seen that clearly. Do you think this will be effective in terms of and in fact, even the security sector reform, whether that one also is on currently?
Well, of course, the law is just as good as it is its implementation. It's one thing to have the law in the books, but it is completely another thing. Makes so tamaka. Of course, kalamutako the security forces menu bijan right now. There was a lot of torture going on within the country. Among the security forces. So you might expect those people to just overnight change, because they have that inbuilt in them, because for a long time they were practicing this kind of thing, this kind of administration, and it cannot be overnight changes. Okay, so that at least you can have a recourse. More torture. At least there is a law means back. You can go to the court, and then the law will be able to, very dull.
When you gamino fanan jube fanan fokom like gamino kom kamo fanan control nyama sometimes ima lipa fang hani do wandi ima penkala fanan, that also be a difficult, very difficult one.
Yeah, but liparo definitely it's inhuman to put kamo treat wanyama. There are ways and means, in security forces, like for wrong, the security sector reform needs to be implemented. Unfortunately, we have heard a lot about security sector reform, but in Niaji Bedal, hardly anything is on the ground. Because near security sector reform, it means the security forces would be trained in such a way that they'll be able to handle, riots. They will be able to handle crowds, but in near they are not taught those simple techniques of how to handle crowds. It will be a miracle. It will be next thing they would do is Kamol Bute Waranto Kamol Tilimbaliano. Definitely, war should be completely out of place in a modern democracy. Yeah.
Yeah. So when this also came out, this information, some were happy, but some were saying, what we need right now is in fact the anti-corruption bill. Although we've seen Dr. Banja being convicted recently, we've also seen other people by the government, and the level of corruption. In your own view, in fact, is the government of Gambia trying to tackle corruption out of this country, or at least to reduce it a bit?
Well, again, Ngamera, the political will doesn't seem to be there. Government is talking a lot about corruption, tackling corruption. But it only me it and the definitely. It's not evident. They are, I mean, very serious about fighting corruption. Recently, the president set up this local government commission, of inquiry. I mean, just to talk about corruption within the local government, municipalities. But it will be along, there are other areas where there is rampant corruption, in central government itself and other institutions which are under the central government. And hardly anything has been done. We have heard about secure report at the airport, millions of dollars have gone out of their way. I mean, nobody is saying anything. That's according to the audit report. We also have seen what happened in Gam Petroleum. How millions of dollars is also have gone away. A few dull arrests, eventually they were freed. So who is going to be held responsible for that amount of money, which has public money, which has gone? So I mean, and we have heard about also in other places like the Ministry of Health and plus there's other places. I mean, Kodi Jama filter according to the audit report. I mean, we have seen government is not very, very serious about tackling corruption. I mean, just the other day, President Bankola, the audit reports are just opinions. Can you imagine? Can belittling audit, the auditors themselves and what they are doing.
But is audit report not an opinion? No, is president very wrong to say?
Well, of course, I mean, that's not the way. I mean, it's not an opinion. I mean, opinion is when I think this is what should be done. But these people have gone through the accounts. They've gone through the papers and they came up with their what they have seen. So it is not an opinion. It's something they have seen in the papers. Government accounts. That something there is a gap there. Where is the money? That's what they are asking. Where is the money that should have been here? They found it in the papers. Not that opinion. I'm sure they are not just sitting in their offices, corridor filter. They must have gone through the papers and then came out with the true figures filter. So it cannot be an opinion.
So that remark have an impact.
No, of course it was not a very good thing for the president to say that, because I mean, he's not encouraging the audit the National Audit Office in doing their work. Definitely, no.
Yeah. So we're getting closer to the ending of the program. The last, I think the parliamentary election, shortly after the election, you've wrote an article, or you have read an article, trying to post-mortem of the election and then try to share your views with regard to. So now we are heading to the local government elections. What are your predictions, or what are your views on the upcoming local government elections? Because we might have many issues there.
Well, much changes there as to what happened during the presidential election and national assembly election, because already the IEC, as Independent Electoral Commission, have already got their list of electors. So that has not changed. Whether because now I like that. I mean, of course, certain people also allege that non-Gambians were registered in that election and they actually voted. But the thing is, I mean, because the political parties, I mean, the opposition parties that were supposed to have, I mean, challenged some of those registration never did so. Nobody went to the revising courts. So, I mean, anybody who is on the list has now the right to vote, whether you are a Gambian or a non-Gambian. It's too late now to challenge it, because there is a period which was allocated for Mosai challenge, but the Momo might challenge. So, I mean, so those who voted in the presidential elections and voted in the National Assembly still have the same right. Nobody can stop them, even if you have 100% sure that this person is not a Gambian. But the very fact that Tobe, list Toto, I mean, it's too late now for anybody to say. So I see no difference in the past two elections, definitely, in the local government elections. Well, the problem with local government elections, usually, the absence, rate of the turnout, voter turnout, usually low, and these are very important elections, because here you are talking about local issues, issues dealing with the people, where they actually stay. These are local elections, and they are very, very important. Very long, sometimes small the the presidential elections were important than anything else. When they elect their president, it will come here bantale. But important about local government elections are.
But president wala, let's say for example, president wala dula jama wino. Understand? For be no banko to let's say for example the different regions in the country right now. We've seen the struggle at the KM, at the peak hour, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, Abedullah, definitely it's not going to be easy for the NPP or any other party for that matter, because these are local issues. I mean, sometimes the party affiliation abuka count much in local government elections, because you are looking at the individual impact on the vicinity, on the area. Abedame, well important. So so party affiliation definitely is not as important as in the National Assembly or the presidential election. Here you are looking at individuals, they have immediate impact on the vicinity, on your locality. So I mean, and I foresee a lot of problems for particularly the NPP, especially area like West Coast, that is become area council, because I mean, we are told that they have already got Ahmed Jite going for independent. That is, if they have not managed to convince him, because they have offered him all kinds of things. I mean, probably eventually they may be able to convince him to accept something from them as Abdullah. But in Abdullah Dal, I mean, it would eventually mean NPP la vote with Talala Fulate, CDC sending Ahmed Jite, and that can give more advantage to the UDP candidate. And in the case of KM and Banjul, it's definitely not going to be easy for the ruling party, that's the NPP. Well, we've seen what happened during the National Assembly elections. They just got only one seat in the whole of the Greater Banjul area. So I mean, it can be repeated, because we are talking about.
So the president will also, NPP will also try to rectify themselves, because
well, of course, it's possible. I know ila objective especially these three area councils. I mean, the Banjul, KM, and West Coast. I mean, Brikama. Well, that is their target. It is worth anything to them. Because Gaje Soto. All these things talking about inquiries and other things. The objective is to get hold of this, but it's not going to be easy. It's definitely not going to be easy. I cannot imagine them winning, particularly KM. It's going to be easy. No.
Yeah. So finally, the time has just gone. DA, if you have anything that you would want to share, you can share that. Then we can close now.
Well, Tentula Bake for inviting me to share my opinions on some of these important issues resting. I think it's important, as Gambians, we need to be very objective. We shouldn't look at them from that perspective, like either political perspective side or, ethnocentric perspectives or nothing. These are national issues, and we should treat them as national issues. I mean, because Tolbem Gambian also, we should be definitely concerned about what takes this country from point A to point B. That is the objective of everybody. We should definitely do away with all the other partisan or sectoral issues. They may not be important for the welfare of the people of this country. So, but Tentula Bake and also Gambia Talents Promotion and everybody else, ila Giberola, ila Teleton, your audience and everybody else, Bal Tentula and just say Ramadan, Ramadan Mubarak. No, Ramadan Karim or Ramadan Mubarak. But I know people like Pa Osman Junior, along Malo Abedam and Baridal. Alone, Alasuma Timadal.
Definitely. Thank you very much. The Abrakabakem, Juberla Temple, Mejela, Cafe do la program ole nundrum, ya loko wala kanali jang, lokum Bankola Kuwo, economic kacha, and in Kukuta will mina lonko abetendi wala na Bankola Tanyala. kala hakilo bulande ko tenke doron ko tele be siri no wali jang sirif konte nga kurang sotole nun jang bari obviously atara haju ko ten la kadon wol siat le especially sunkaro kono hodo wul sane fanan afana chandon laldo sunkaro be wala kono bon sonia bidu fo jiko la bata ne mago nga di tentu nga jey ala wato la min ta pour kana nan kadon ngamne sunkaro kono mon sonia saka traffic wala ko ni membe den wala automatique wala mbajela bal fanan tentu la doro ba fanane ko tenke doro ala baraka fo wati ko tenke inshallah.
And we having businessmen will complain. Ila kulun kanale fu banjol. Ibuka jino ebuka la bagaso jin. They turn back. The katafen gold drop into Senegal. Gambia bagaso kajisena. Masi bolet.
Dr. Ture contributed immensely to the failure of Adam Barrow regime from 2017 to 2020.
Manke mola foye ko babun wok monkey it bar ko metela jero yaje ko wala be tamakan NPP kono.
Yes, ngajale because ya ken defangola I was victimized. Who? The party executive. President ya bulobula among intervene because atele sonta yenna di political campaign.
Baro e muno famoni ning ata hanata ko men ko be jaralale we transport people from Mali, Sierra Leone and other countries but we are going to do it. Pour que mol transport ni nalana can support for 5 years on mo SCF crowd
bari ita fono la ko ha minister la jodo atale ngati nga minister tal allowance la fa mol membe duma minister patata nyaonya mol membe marché auto jendan jaay o famasol do Sénégal membe bolon kono wolle patata minister ti woton te balafa no la minister e ka fo minister la jodo atale nga balafa wanto director la jodo atale nga balafa
Yaya has the political power. Yaya has the political popularity in the Gambia. Hanibi, molbe lafringalale, anu hanibi, ala yamaro na futa molka.
Let it be put straight that marriage should be between a man and a woman only if they reach the age of 18 and above, or if they reach maturity, because people could be matured before they reach 18.
So every year, the GFF receives $1 million from FIFA, $500,000 in January, and another $500,000 in July.